Howdy folks. So I just posted a video on a teardown of my sort of second failed electric screwdriver, and I'll put a link in the description if you want to take a look at that. And so this is the third electric screwdriver that I'll be looking at on this channel, and actually the fourth electric screwdriver that I've bought in my life. So I am on a quest to find the best one because it's a tool that I use all the time. And sort of if this one doesn't work out, I think what I'm going to do is just scour the globe for the best one, that I can find. No longer looking consumer grade. I want something that's, handmade by nude virgins in Switzerland or something. I want some really nice one. But anyway, this is the Hanmatek. Again, if you look on eBay and Amazon, you can find a bunch of electric screwdrivers that look like this. They're in a similar form factor. They're all a little bit different. Some of them have adjustable clutches, some of them don't. Some of them have different color schemes. Some of them have lights, some of them don't. They're all slightly different. So unlike the previous screwdriver I looked at, where they're all basically the same, this one, the brands have done something, but this is the one that I picked out. And the difference is this is a much more it's a much larger electric screwdriver, obviously, and it has the larger, sort of the standard hex sized like output shaft for the larger sized bits, and that's not a problem for me because, as it turns out, I have an adapter which takes this size and adapts it to the smaller hex, which is what most of the stuff that I use is, and so these are all the bits that came with the old dead screwdriver now, so I can continue to use those. So this came with another kit, so this does not come with this. You'd have to order something like this separately if you wanted to use this on smaller screws. The operation is pretty straightforward. I'm holding this together because I've already taken all the screws out because there's a lot of them. It can twist, so you can push a button and unlock it, and then when you twist it, it goes to a fully straight style. Unfortunately, the problem is the trigger is all the way back here, so it's not terribly ergonomic. You can't really use it like all the other electric screwdrivers, which does suck a little bit, but I do like the fact that it does this. And oh god, now I've screwed it up. Oh boy, yeah, this is why I really should not have done that before I put screws back in. But anyway, so you get the idea. It can twist. It works kind of like a drill in the fact that you've got the 3 positions on the switch. You've got a lock in the center, and then you've got forward, reverse, and then you have a trigger. It has a light, and then of course the end spins in either direction. Only one speed, and there's no clutch. So it's up to you to determine how tight you want to go. The light is not the best because it doesn't shine exactly where you're working. And I guess one other thing you'll notice is it is pretty loud. Now for me that doesn't really matter all that much, but yeah, the light position is definitely not the greatest. It could have been put much closer to where you're actually working. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Just a simple lock, 3-position switch here, and it does charge via USB micro B on the bottom. It's got a little rubbery grip thing, and that's about it. There's not much else going on here. It comes with a couple bits, again, all of the large size, and I'd recommend probably using your own bits. Anyway, so I've taken out the screws. There's quite a bunch of them. They're all straightforward Phillips, and so let's take a look at what is on the inside. So it's you got to take apart the you have to take apart the bottom before you can take apart the top because of this overhang here, which is what holds the top on and allows it to swivel. So it's decently rigid construction, so it's definitely decently durable for a screwdriver. I don't think there's nothing fancy. Actually, I haven't looked to see if there are any markings on here. It's probably just ABS. I wouldn't expect nylon or anything fancy here. So you can see it's powered by an 18650, which has got some tabs welded onto it. I don't see any. Oh, there we go. 1300 milliamp hours. So that is the cell. In case anyone cares, ICR 18650P. So I don't know that cell marking off the top of my head. So who knows if it's any good or not. But the fact that it's an 18650 is nice. So if you wanted to, put a much larger cell in here, you absolutely could. It would be pretty straightforward. The charging down here is very simple. Just an LED to indicate charging, and all that's on here is a very, very, very tiny little part, little little package here. I think it says 55BE is what I believe is on that package. So it is switching, it is controlling the input on the positive to the cell. The negative goes straight through. So this should be the current should be doing current regulation and high voltage shutoff. Now the manual for this, which is surprisingly decent English, unfortunately what it says is it basically says charge it for 5 hours, but don't leave it plugged in longer than 5 hours because it could overheat. Which I think that's just them covering their ass, because I don't see how this could actually be a problem. And when I charged it, it did shut off, but again, I was charging with a power bank, so the power bank may have shut off due to like low current and not this chip. So I haven't actually confirmed that or not. I've got a little piece of like fish paper to prevent the switch from digging into the cell. And the switch is, so everything here is mechanical, so the direction is actually performed mechanically, just like the old, old drills and such. And just a straightforward little button here, just LED with some heat shrink on it, and then we have our electric motor, which is just a 3.6 volt sort of hobby motor, and we have our gearbox, and you can see when I actually run it, you can actually see through the plastic a little bit. You can see the gears in there. So this would be, there'd be a bunch of planetary gear sets doing a gear reduction. You can actually watch them as they go around. You can also see that there's a circlip on the end here that's also spinning. So I don't really want to open up this gearbox because the fact that it's already greasy on the outside, it's going to just be a pretty straightforward planetary gear set, and we all know what those look like. So I don't think I'm going to bother to take this apart any further. Really, all I wanted to know was how. Oh, you know what? This is pretty straightforward. Sure, I'll do this. I'll go this far. So this basically just shows that it's plastic gears. So the gears are all plastic. They definitely have a lot of lubrication. But yeah, so the gears are all plastic. I would assume that from looking at this, everything is plastic. The sun gears, the planets, and the outer ring gear are all plastic. The only thing that's probably metal is just the shaft output there on the motor. So, oh, please go together. Oh, that's gonna suck. I'm gonna have to align all that again. Oh, and look at the grease. Oh boy. So I will deal with that off camera. So yeah, plastic gears. It's not great, but again, this only is supposed to put out 3 Newton meters, which is not a hell of a lot of torque, and it's it's actually the same amount of torque as the really small screwdriver that I had in my previous video, and this actually looks like, even with the plastic gears, it should be able to handle 3 Newton meters, no problem. It would be nice if this had a clutch, and I suspect that the ones that do have clutches, obviously they're going to have a different gear set that has some clutch mechanism in it, or they're all completely fake and it's just a ring that you can turn and it's the exact same thing on the inside. So if anyone has one of those, that would be really interesting to see inside, whether it's a scam or not. But this looks perfectly fine, to be honest. I actually have no problem with this, so I'm going to be using this from now on. And I guess if there's no update, then it means it's still alive, and if I update and it's dead, then we'll go through this process once again. So, yeah, that's all that's inside. It's pretty straightforward, but it's all it needs to be. So, till next time, thanks for watching.